Welcome to episode 15, Felicia, Frankie, and me laughing through the pain. Hello, my beautiful people. How is everybody doing today? I hope you guys are all hanging in there and doing well. I gotta say, I am absolutely loving and hating this weather. Temperatures in the 70s. Oh man, it's beautiful. Got the windows open, the breeze blowing through the windows. Oh, fresh air. Love it. It's perfect, especially at night to sleep. You got your blankies all curled up, and oh man, best night's sleep ever without wonderful fresh air. But all that moisture in the air, yeah, not so great for an arthritic person like me or for you, for us. And then you know what happens? Yeah, you know what that does, right? It wakes Frankie up. And then, of course, Felicia, she has to join the party too. So buckle up, friends, because we have got a wild ride today. Really quick, before we get started, it's just a reminder, I'm not a doctor. I am just someone living with two chronic illnesses that I have lovingly named Felicia and Frankie, because calling them bad names might get me in some serious hot water. Everything I share here is based on my own personal experiences, not medical advice. Always, always talk to your own doctor before trying anything new. Life, laughter, and two chronic illnesses. Can you guys seriously believe it's the freaking end of August already? It is like time got a turbo button. Like for real. Lately, it seems to be flying by. Like when I was a kid growing up, the grown ups used to always say, oh, when you get older, time flies. It just flies away when you get older. And I always thought they were like freaking full of it. You know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh, you're crazy. Because as a kid, summer felt like it like lasted 5 years or more. Like it just seemed like it went on and on and on. It was just great. It was summer vacation, man. This is awesome. Yeah. Now it's like a blink and boom, like the whole freaking month's done. I'm like, whoa, what? Whoa. Seriously, what happened? Anyway, welcome to Felicia and Frankie in the podcast. I am Gigi, your host, your chronic illness fighting, laughter, loving friend here. And if you guys are new here, let me explain. Felicia and Frankie are the names that I have given my chronic illnesses. Well, because, seriously, calling them bad names all the time felt like I was tempting fate. Plus, giving them names makes it way easier to roast them without getting, karma involved. Because, don't want to totally do that. So, you guys go grab your coffee, your tea, and I'll be over here with my trusty Mountain Dew. Because, go green. Don't forget to bring your heating pad or whatever your weapon of choice is. And, just know that you might laugh a little today and maybe cry a little. But we're definitely about to get real with life with these two uninvited guests. So, meeting Felicia and Frankie. Let's introduce the troublemakers. Felicia is the drama queen. Felicia, better known as Fibromyalgia. She's dramatic and she loves, loves, loves the spotlight. She shows up uninvited, rearranges my plans. She loves to play her little games, making my nerves absolutely scream. And she makes my muscles do gymnastics. I didn't sign up for this. I didn't even know that. For one, I didn't even know I could do that. Second of all, for real, did not sign up for this. She really knows how to push my buttons. She's got like a remote control for my body or something, like the jerking and the spasming and the shaking. And she does it just for the fun. And she's basically made herself at home. And Frankie, oh yeah, Frankie, he's exhausting. He's also known as psoriatic arthritis. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He's the strong and silent type, kind of broody and mysterious, Oh yeah, until he isn't. He's got a PhD in freaking torture, man. He sneaks in all sneaky sneak, and then it's like, bam! My joints feel like they've been hit by a Mack truck. And the jerking and my muscles, yeah, shaking my nerves and acting like it's a full on party in my body. Yeah, let me tell you. I seriously named them that because I felt like it was better than constantly always saying my illnesses all the time and reminding myself that I'm sick. Or, who wants to hear it? Oh, well, my illnesses. Well, my doctor and my illnesses. Yeah, who wants to hear that? You know what I mean? So, you know, I was on talking to my neighbor and I was kind of being snarky one day and I wasn't feeling good. And, Felicia, she was being a pain in the tushy. So I just started calling her Felicia. And after that, it kind of stuck. So, yeah, I did that way before I started this podcast. So it just made more sense to do it. So it made more sense to say Felicia's acting up today than, and it made it sound more manageable than saying my illnesses because, it just made me feel like I was sicker than, I don't know. It's like a placebo effect. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, plus it's easier to laugh at it, because you don't, yeah, it's just way easier to laugh about. I don't want to cry. I don't want to be sad. I don't want to be upset and frustrated. I just want to laugh and have fun and try to live as pain free as I can. And trust me, Felicia and Frankie, they give me plenty of all the above. Let's talk about life lately because, oh boy, let me tell you, it's been a ride. First of all, big news. I hit my 1 year smoke free anniversary. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Yo, I smoked for 34 years. That is half of my life. That's over half of my life. Wow. Yeah, it's crazy. And let's be honest, that's longer than some marriages even last. So I tried to quit so many times before, but like literally it took me getting so freaking sick that that's what finally made me quit for good. But, nothing like a near death experience to make you rethink your life choices, right? Yeah, a whole year. Some days I still smell cigarette smoke and I think about it and I miss it. But mostly, I don't miss it. My lungs are finally like some respect around here. Their lungs are like, oh, yay, she's finally got smart. Yeah, but my waistline, yeah, no, no, nope, nope, nope. She's very, very mad. Oh my gosh, she's furious. I have put on so much freaking weight. Oh my gosh, I try to be so good. But yeah, thanks to medication and stress and, maybe my sudden love for cakes, the little Debbie snacks. Yeah, okay. Chips, all the bad crap that you're not supposed to have. Yeah, I'll deal with that later though. Yeah, one battle at a time because, I can only handle so many things at a time. So, yeah, anyway. We also had my mom's birthday memorials recently. So, yeah, I had some of my family come. We met at my brother's, and so we had family come together, and my mom's brother was there. We called, and his wife, and my brothers, and wife, and nieces, and nephews, and, so, my dad, my daughter, my grandson. But, yeah, we called my grandma and we had her on video phone and, we cooked out and we laughed and we gossiped and, we remembered her, talked about her, told stories. Gosh, I mean, it's hard to believe it was her 3rd year, her 3rd heavenly birthday. This year, she has her dad with her because my grandpa just died in February this year. So, yeah, it was beautiful. It was very emotional and very, very exhausting. I drove 45 minutes, almost an hour there and then back home. So, an hour and a half sitting and, being out in the chilly. The weather was beautiful, but it was chilly. So, of course, I was freezing and just, anyway. But yeah, she would have been 70. And gosh, I miss her so much, every single day. She had a lot of health issues, kidney failure, Crohn's disease, depression. It's hard to see her like that. But man, I know she's better off, and that's what makes it, more bearable because I wouldn't want her back suffering the way she was. And, it's okay. I know I'll see her again one day soon. Chronic illness means that, even fun comes with a price tag. So, it was worth every bit of the pain that I was in to see my family. And I think, for all of us to smile again. It's been 3 years. We've been through so much, and I think it's time for all of us to move forward. I think we've all been emotionally traumatized, I think, and my husband and I we've gone through family losses on both sides, and my kids their dad, so it's just been a lot. So I feel like, we just it's good to see us all smile and be a family again, and you know and honestly, just being there, soaking up that time with them, and listen to us all laughing, reminded us of good old days and, good memories. And God, it was so good for the soul, and it was so needed. Sometimes we just have to stop and smell those flowers. We have to recharge just a little bit, and let life remind us that it's still worth it. It'll be okay eventually, it's anyway, it was beautiful. Okay, now for the real talk. This is the serious side. The chronic illness is like having worst roommates ever. You never ever want these people. You want them gone. They're not paying any rent. They eat all your snacks and they refuse to leave. The pain, the fatigue, the brain fog. Y'all, that daggone brain fog has me forgetting what I'm saying, even mid sentence. Oh my gosh, it's like somebody, it's like somebody unplugged my brain. I'm in the middle talking, and all of a sudden, it's like, duh, it's just gone. And then my husband just giggles and shakes his head at me and walks away. And then he's like, yeah, there she goes again. Oh, man. And then there's the doctor carousel, You got the doctors and the chiropractors and the labs and specialists and tests and oh golly, I'm telling you, that's a full-time job going to all these freaking doctors. I'm exhausted all the freaking time. And some days I walk out feeling like my pain needed a permission slip just to be believed or something. I don't know, like my body's being dramatic on purpose or something. Like I have control over that. What people don't see is how invisible this can be. You know what I mean? Like you can be sick, super, super sick, and still look totally fine. They didn't see the 2 years that I spent basically living in bed because I couldn't get out of bed. They weren't there for the endless appointments and the mental battles and the fights and the tests and, all the fighting that I had to do for myself to advocate that things weren't right, and then have all those tests come back normal while I felt nothing but normal. And the more I fought everything, the more exhausted I got, the more my body turned against it. And it turned into this super sensitive germ magnet. So now, if somebody as much sneezes near me, I'm done for. Like, I'm down for 2 weeks. So, yeah, sometimes going to the store takes like mega levels of energy and planning along with calculated risk assessments. You know what I mean? Because one trip for groceries could wipe me out for days or longer. Coping with boundaries and bubble life. So here's something that really got me thinking. A nurse actually asked me recently if it was worth it. If taking all these meds, the shots, dealing with the erect immune system that I have, was it worth going through everything that I went through? Or would it be better to just stop and let my body rage bore on itself? And y'all, that kind of made me think. Like, it hit hard. I had to think about it. And then I thought, because here's the truth, chronic illness forces you to learn boundaries. And I joke about living in a bubble all the time, but it's kind of true. My immune system is basically tissue paper. One random sneeze from a stranger, and I'm out for a week or so. So sometimes I have to say no, not because I don't want, like, not that I don't want to be there or don't want to be a part of things, because I do. I really, really do. And it stinks because I want to live. I don't want to just survive. I feel like I'm that kid looking in the windows all the time. You know what I mean? And the other thing that people don't always get is we might still do the thing, but it might take us longer, and, and it's going to hurt. Simple as that. You know what I mean? Like, I might do something, but it's going to wipe me out longer. We pay for every ounce of energy that we've spent, and sometimes for days or weeks at a time. Then there's times where, we do try things. We try to step out of our comfort zones. We break out of the thoughts of the normal what fits for everybody else, because we're not one size fit all world. We're just not. It might take me longer to heal than other people, and other people vice versa. You know what I mean? But so we try weighted blankets, and we try the TENS unit and the hydro massages and physical therapy, the gym. We do all the diets, the low carb, the no carbs, the sugar free, gluten free, and we cut out foods. We get away from sugars and tomatoes and nightshades and XYZ and whatever. Some things may help, some things don't. It's like a never-ending science experiment where we're the lab rats. Supplements? Yeah, okay, yeah. Don't get me started on that, because, one doctor swears by them. Some you say, those vitamins are the best thing ever. The next one says avoid them like they're the plague. You know, I learned the hard way, case in point, with the elderberry, Oh, it's great for your immune system. Well, another doctor said, oh my God, don't be taking them. You have an autoimmune disease. You should never take those. So I've learned to just ask before I take them or to get them, or, the thought popped in my head and talk about it now because, here's the thing, I don't know. You know, thanks. I don't want to go through all that again. So here's where I stand off. If something might help me get through the pain, I'll try it. I mean, I'll at least try it anyway. And then, because, I live with a chronic illness, and that's, I mean, it's a challenge enough on its own. So what's another obstacle in a world that's already full of them? Oh, wait a minute. Heating pads, always close by. Always got that on standby. It seriously deserves its own fan club, for real. Gratitude, silver linings. But even in the middle of all the chaos, I stay grateful for my littles, for my family, for my friends, for the days that I can actually function without feeling like I ran a marathon in my sleep, and for my wicked sense of humor. Because if I didn't laugh, I would probably cry a whole lot more. And I am seriously grateful for each and every one of you guys. This little community that we've built here, knowing that there are people out here who actually get it, it does make the day a little easier. I find myself thinking, oh yeah, I need to talk about that, or I need to, I need to bring that up, or I have Google Docs on my phone that I talk into so I can make random notes to make sure I don't forget things to tell you guys. But I just want to let you know that, it does matter. And you guys, it just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside because you guys get it. Felicia and Frankie, they may control my physical body, but they do not get to take my humor or my personality. That's mine, and I'm keeping that. Seriously, I am. And before we wrap up, can we just seriously celebrate something? Hello, 600 plus views. Oh my gosh. Holy cow, that is a lot. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, every one of you guys, for the support. I am so beyond thankful for each and every one of you guys. Always, friends. That is for it for today's episode for the Felicia and Frankie podcast. These two aren't going anywhere, but neither am I. We're going to keep laughing, venting, and finding our joy wherever we can. Thank you for listening, for supporting, for sharing this crazy journey with me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and tell me your Felicia and Frankie stories, because I know I'm not the only one out here with uninvited guests crashing my life. So, until next time, be kind to yourself, set those boundaries, and remember, we might be chronically ill, but we're also chronically awesome. See you guys next week. Bye.